What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am an online fitness coach, been doing this for 10 years, and I've helped over 1,000 people transform their lives through fitness. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get addicted to progress. Okay, so I had a client recently tell me, like, hey, I want to get addicted to the gym. I want to get addicted to eating healthy. I want to get addicted to these healthy habits. And we've had some people come through our program that do have addictive personalities. And maybe we tend to get people like that because I would say I'm someone that has kind of an addictive personality. I've been someone that's struggled with alcohol in the past. I've been someone that's binge ate, foods in the past. I've definitely been someone that's like binged TV in the past. Like I've been kind of like addicted to certain things, but I've learned to channel it in the right direction and be addicted to the right things that help level me up. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to get yourself to that point, whether you have an addictive personality or not, but how to get addicted to healthy habits and make that be a superpower to get you where you want to go. So to start out, I think a good place to start with this topic is talking about dopamine. Okay, so dopamine is a neurotransmitter in our brain that rewards us. It's basically a reward chemical for certain things, and you can either get kind of these synthetic hits of dopamine that I like to call it, from things like scrolling social media, getting quick hits of dopamine from stuff like that, binging Netflix, right? Eating junk food, watching porn, even, like getting these synthetic hits of dopamine. That's something that you can do to get the dopamine, but it doesn't help you in the long term, right? It gives you that synthetic hit, kind of gives you that reward without really having to work for it at all, right? And doing that over and over and over, it causes you to really kind of damage and trash your dopamine system and your reward system in your brain. Okay, so I was there for a long time and it makes it really hard to be motivated, right? When you're just getting all these synthetic hits, it's like, oh, I can just have pleasure all the time from these easy things. And then you're not motivated to seek out pleasure from accomplishing things, to seek out fulfillment. So what I've been able to do over time, and it's definitely a process, right, is kind of cleanse myself of a lot of these synthetic hits of dopamine, right? Kind of doing regular self audits, like how can I get rid of these synthetic hits of dopamine that are just giving me these quick rewards, right? Trying to filter that stuff out and focus on getting dopamine from actually accomplishing things. Okay, so if you can get your dopamine from things like having a to-do list and crossing off each to-do and getting that hit of dopamine every time you do that, right? And you get your dopamine from working out, right? And all the healthy positive chemicals that happen in your brain and your body whenever you work out, right? So you're getting more fulfillment out of that, right? Eating good healthy food and getting like fuel and recovery from good food rather than just like feeling good for a moment when you eat bad food, but then you feel horrible the rest of the day, right? So if you can gravitate more towards that, and then you start falling in love with the way you feel and the outcomes from doing all these things, that's a huge way to start getting addicted to progress and good healthy habits. Okay, and I was talking to this individual, one of our clients, who was asking me about this, and he's really struggling, right? He's addicted to gambling. He is addicted to basically Netflix, right? He binge watches. He basically works, comes home, just binge watches Netflix all night, right? And like I said, like this is a really easy way to just destroy your dopamine system, right? And so it takes some time, but try to gravitate more towards, hey, I'm doing things to get my dopamine and stop getting those synthetic hits. Another thing I told him was instead of binging Netflix and things like that, like consume content that's positive, it's uplifting, it's helping you level up, more self-development type things, because that's the type of content I consume all the time. Basically, I don't pay for cable, right? I don't pay. The only thing I have is Amazon Prime, and I only watch like one movie a week or something like that, right? But most of the content I'm consuming throughout the entire week is just good personal development, either YouTube videos, or I'm usually in some sort of course or program or mastermind, and I'm consuming that throughout the week as well. So If you can do that, right, and start enjoying and find fulfillment and get your dopamine from learning and developing and accomplishing things, your life's just going to drastically change, right? You're either leveling up or you're declining. That's just the way it is. Okay. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with, getting addicted to progress and getting addicted to healthy habits. Another way to just make sure that you're successful overall, because this is something else we talked about with one of our clients. He had a question in our Q&A this week, and it was basically, hey, I tend to fall into slumps, right? Or I kind of backtrack, or sometimes I self-sabotage. I want to make sure, in this program that I don't backslide. And he was like, what are some of the main ways to avoid this sort of backslide or this self-sabotage, or just how can I get the most out of my training program? And these are some of the things I told him. So one, you want to phase your goals, right? There should always be, another goal that you're striving for. A lot of people get way too fixated on the outcome, say they just have one goal. If I want to lose 30 pounds, once I get there, there we go. I made it, right? It's like, okay, but then you get there, and you make it, then what? Typically if people are just so fixated on that one outcome and that one goal, a lot of times, then they get complacent, they end up putting the weight back on, right? Because there's nothing to keep going towards. So I think you should always have a goal you're striving for, have a strategic phasing of your goals. So a lot of times when our clients, they reach, maybe they wanted in the beginning to lose weight, they lose that 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is that they wanted to lose. Then we start focusing on, hey, what's the body fat percentage? What's the muscle mass that you have? Maybe we shift focus more towards muscle and strength, right? But there should always be something you're trying to progress in. Okay. So that's a big one. Another one is kind of having a maintenance strategy, right? And that kind of goes contradictory to what I just said, but a lot of times, maybe you've got a 2 week vacation coming up, or you're going through a huge transition where you just got hired on at a job, right? There's big life events and things that happen that, hey, maybe sometimes we just want to use this month as a maintenance month, right? And having a strategy around that can be super important. Not only that, but sometimes it can be a good strategy for your long-term progress to have a month or two in a maintenance as well. For instance, we've had clients who have dieted pretty hard, been in a caloric deficit for 6 to 9 months. And sometimes you start to hit plateaus both physically and mentally at that point. So sometimes it's good to have a little bit of a maintenance period, to not only help you out mentally and psychologically, but also kind of ramp back up your metabolism, and just kind of get things rocking and rolling again, so that we can start aggressively dieting and lose the weight. And this is usually for people that have like big weight loss goals and things like that. So, but sometimes maintenance strategies can come in handy. Um, but I'm going to double down on this, having goals every single step of the way, right? I said phasing your goals, but also, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, big long-term goal. Like there should be goals set every single um, step of the way, but also they should be focused on the process goals as well, right? Like what needs to get done today, this week, this month, this quarter? Like what is going to get me to those outcomes, and falling in love with that process. Okay, so that's huge. The other thing is, guys, the story I'll tell with this, or kind of just the way to relate to it. A lot of times in that show, The Biggest Loser, these people lose a ton of weight, right? And they go back home to their normal environment with their family, friends, and they end up putting that weight right back on, right? Because the environment you're in, the accountability system, the support system that you have plays such a huge role. So, I mean, obviously for our clients, that they've got me and our client success coach, Coach Herb. They've got a community here. So there's this kind of a community and support system that we've created. But it's also super important that your friends, your family, everyone that's important in your life around you also supports your goals, knows what you're doing, knows this is important for you, and they're helping you and holding you accountable the whole way through too. Okay, so as much as you can get everyone involved, the more successful you're going to be. All right. So those are some of the huge ways to make sure, like, hey, I don't backtrap, I don't get in slumps, I don't hit as many plateaus, and you reach your progress no matter what. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm trying to do kind of more of these when clients give us these good questions, or things that are not hurting them, but like things that they're struggling with. I'm trying to, you know, make a point of it to make a video about these things so that everyone can benefit and learn from these things that, a lot of people, and myself included, are probably struggling with as well. So hope this was helpful. Like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Comment any questions you have. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But in the meantime, elevate every damn day. Peace.
Elevate. Only obligation is to tell it straight.